And it's just interesting how Ty Lawson comes over from China, and all of a sudden he's a heavy part of the rotation.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, how many times has that happened where a guy's been signed literally the day before the playoffs start and has a key role like that? No, definitely.
He's assimilated himself really well in the lineup.
And you're like, how was that guy in China?
I know.
Was it all like the DUI related? Like,
I don't know. I don't know if he just fell out of favor with NBA
blackballed
teams.
a little bit. I mean, that guy's got big time talent still.
Oh yeah. So it's interesting that that's happened, but it does get us to the point of John Wall logging so many minutes. So he played the entire fourth quarter, and he played 44 minutes. And this was a criticism last year of Scott Brooks. In Game 7 of the second round against the playoffs, Kelly Oubre played, I think, 20 seconds, something like that. It was less than a minute. Every team tightens their bench come playoff time, but he really tightens it. You look at the numbers. All right, Mike Scott played 14 minutes. Oubre,
I was a little surprised by that.
Played 26. Then you had Mahimi with 8 minutes.
Yep.
Lawson with 14 and Satoransky with 4.
No,
he doesn't play his bench hardly at all.
Well, look, he's going to get criticized, and I could nitpick a few of those players, but when you are in a pivotal Game 5 and you pretty much have to win that game, you're going with your superstars.
Right, but maybe give Wall a 2-minute blow in the fourth quarter.
Well, maybe he talked to Wall, and Wall said, I'm good. You know, maybe they talked, and he said, look, I can go. Because he did give him a couple breaks earlier in the game.
And there are timeouts. I get it. There are TV
and who do you
timeouts.
trust? John Wall, even though he's a little gassed, or Ty Lawson?
But that's the thing. Maybe just 2 minutes of rest, and you make one of those threes that you miss. They missed what I thought were wide open looks.
We're second-guessing now. We're second-guessing.
Well, it's
right, but it's a common theme when it comes to Coach Brooks going back to last season.
Too much.
My problem is I just don't feel a sense of urgency from these guys. I definitely do more when they're at home. On the road, you know, at times they play that way. But listen, do you have some of the quotes post-game? They're not awful quotes or anything, but it's just, and it's hard to when you lose, you're kind of down. But I just didn't feel like these guys understand that they're on the brink of elimination. They're kind of acting very casual, like, yeah, we're right there, we'll be there, it's all good. No, guys, you guys are on the brink of elimination.
First praise my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. No, we just missed some shots. We feel like we got a lot of good ones. A lot of them didn't fall, but for the most part, you know, we feel like we didn't shoot it well and didn't play a great game, and still had opportunity bigger shots and some plays down the stretch that really hurt us in the fourth. But I think for the most part, even for the way we shot it, we didn't shoot it great. We only made 5 threes to their 11. You know, so, I mean, we lost that category, and we were still pretty much in the game. But if we just knock down some more shots, I think we'll be okay.
I mean, that's what it comes down to, is the bench in the series. Because essentially, if you think about it, Toronto has 7 starters. Because Miles and DeLon Wright, they're going to play similar minutes to the starters.
Right.
I mean, they're going to play in the high 20s.
The Wiz don't have that luxury.
They don't have that, right? So, you know, that's why Sato gets 4 minutes. And I was a little surprised Mike Scott only got 14. But you kind of
have that with Oubre.
A little bit with Oubre, yeah. But when you can put Miles and DeLon Wright in there and rely on them for 30 minutes and they can both shoot it, I mean, that's just a big edge.
I do agree with Eric's contention, though, that they generally have a too cool for school kind of laid back attitude. However, the reason why I picked the Wizards in 6, which is now impossible, but the reason why I felt like the Wizards had a really good chance to beat the Raptors in this series, despite the fact that it was a 1 versus 8 seed, should be a mismatch, is I felt like they would turn up the intensity in the playoffs. And I do think they have. I don't think you could say they lost because there was a lack of intensity or energy on the court.
Well, did you hear this towards the end of the presser? I thought this was kind of weird.
Seems like it's been a home court series. How do you like your chances coming back here for Game 7?
We love our chances. We're very confident. Like we said, it's the best out of 3. And for somebody to win, the series got to win on the road. So that's what our goal is.
It's like they just skip over Game 6.
Well, he's assuming they win at home.
Well, he asked them about Game 7.
He said
he asked him about Game 7.
But don't you think that he would say, let's take care of Game 6? And
I have no problem with what he said right there. He was set up to answer it that way.
He asked him about Game 7, so he answered it. But I will say, I still think in their comments that he just sounds too cool for school.
I would be angrier.
I would be more pissed off.
I don't think they played like that. I just thought that they were in there all game down the stretch.
They were gassed at the end.
They were tired, but it wasn't lackadaisical. They missed shots.
And the heavy minutes from the regular season, they're adding up.
Yeah,
Wall and Beal especially. Look at Beal's numbers in the fourth quarter.
They had open looks. They missed shots down the stretch. They could have stolen the game, and it didn't happen. So now correct.
They were 5 for 26 from threes. You're not going to win a lot of games that way.
Beal's numbers in the fourth quarter have been awful all season long, even when he was fresh.
He's one of the worst fourth quarter players I've ever seen.
I don't think it's a fact of him not being clutch. I think it's a factor of him being tired.
I don't think it's that.
You're worn out at the end of the game.
I actually
you're
think
not as effective.
Part of the reason was he didn't have John Wall for half the season, and they keyed on him. But they missed. I agree with Bradley Beal's comments. You may say it was casual. I agree with his comments. They had good looks. They missed it. Beal had good looks. Oubre had good looks. They just, all of a sudden, I don't know if they were tight. They missed shots. And it's funny because I actually tweeted something out with about 9 minutes to go. It was right before they grabbed that 5-point lead. And I was like, hopefully the Raptors feel the pressure and start to get tight because they have to win at home. Yeah. And it went the other way. Yeah. Maybe the Wizards got tight down the stretch.
When the Wizards took that 5-point lead with 8.5 minutes to play, they got outscored. I think the math is right here, 26-15 to end the game.